Thank you, Honorable Chair, and honorable members of the committee, my colleague from from the Ministry of Education, and the various trade unions represented here, together with our team from the university management. Chairman, really don't have much to say, and I will request, because I had indicated that I would be joining another meeting at 1:15, that I make a very short few remarks, short presentation, and if you'll allow me, I'll step out. If I'll be needed again, I will make myself available for whatever assignment I'll be needed to carry out. But let me make my formal submission as is the procedure. The National Treasury makes this submission on the funding of the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement for universities employees as follows. I know the background we have laid the background, both parties have laid the background, but let me just state as follows, that the University's Academic Staff Union, WASU, and the Kenya University Staff Union, KUSU, commenced their industrial action on 17 September 2025 regarding the implementation of the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement. It is noted that on the 28th of October 2019, the Interpublic Universities Council Consultative Forum, IPUCCF, jointly with WASU and KUSU, computed and signed the cost of the CBA at 13.81 billion. However, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, recommended 8.8 billion, as had been stated before. Consequently, the unions took the matter to the Employment and Labor Relations Court, arguing that the recommended amount was not adequate as it did not consider the annual increment and the resultant pension liability. The court, in its ruling delivered on 15th January 2021, concurred with the computation by the Joint Implementation Committee. Hence, the total cost of implementing the CBA was determined to be 16.57 billion, including pension liabilities. The government later lodged an appeal on the matter at the Court of Appeal regarding the ruling by the Employment and Labor Relations Court. The matter has been in court until on 10th of April 2025, when the Office of the Attorney General, through a letter, informed the State Department of Higher Education of the Court of Appeal's decision, which was delivered on 28th March 2025, dismissing the appeal and advised for implementation of the 2017-2021 CBA to avoid further litigation. Now, on implementation of this CBA, 2017-2021, to implement the CBA, the National Treasury has provided a total of about 8.8 billion as follows: 6.6 billion appropriated in financial year 2019-2020, and then later another 2.2 billion appropriated in financial year 21-22. So what are the actions following the collapse of the government's appeal at the Court of Appeal? Following that, the directive of the State Department for Higher Education, in collaboration with SRC, IPUCCF, and the universities, have undertaken a verification exercise on the implementation of this CBA. The verification has confirmed that based on the court's ruling, a total of 8.8 billion was disbursed against a total requirement of 16.57 billion. And this has been confirmed by SRC in a communication dated 24th October 2025. In view of the foregoing, the State Department has written to the National Treasury for concurrence to settle the 7.76 billion outstanding disbursement for the 2017-2021 CBA in three phases, as set out here below. Financial year 25-26, 2.16 billion. Financial year 26-27, 2.8 billion. And then financial year 27-28, 2.8 billion. The National Treasury concurred with that position, given the very tight fiscal framework that the financial year 25-26 budget is being implemented. In fact, I wish to state, Chairman, that immediately this communication reached the National Treasury, our internal team were engaged to look at the effect and the impact it would have on our fiscal framework. And having satisfied themselves that they'd done due diligence, this communication was made online to me. I was in Angola as a chairman, and I gave the approval online. However, since then, I was again reliably informed by my colleague, um, the Ministry of Education, that this offer was not accepted. And we have since consulted within government, even though with the tight fiscal space that we are in, and the government committed to fund the CBA in 2 installments. That is 50% in financial year 25-26, and then 50% in 26-27. I wish just to state the following two additional information, Mr. Chairman. First, that the National Treasury would request that we make a commitment that we would be able to honor and respect. That is what happened last year when we had a similar dispute. We committed ourselves, Mr. Chairman, to a phased payment of the CBA 21-25. And I think we are on track on that without any default. Mr. Chairman, it would interest this committee and the Kenyan public to note that our economic stability is improving. If you look at our macroeconomic fundamentals, are looking better than they were probably 2 or even 1 year ago. But if we don't maintain the trajectory that we have taken in sustaining and maintaining our economic stability, then we will slide again to where we were, and the effect may be disaster. Don't know whether, Mr. Chairman, you are aware, but I believe you are, that this country almost defaulted in paying their loan last year, which almost caused economic disaster. And therefore, we would not even be talking about CBS to implement today. We would actually be talking about whether we can sustain our workforce in employment. And so I am cautioning that as we discuss, and I agree that our lecturers, our staff who teach in our public universities are not adequately remunerated, and they need even better salaries, including other public servants. But again, we must also be alive to the challenges that we are facing. And in conclusion, it would also interest you to know, Chairman and the committee, that in 2013, we were only spending about 16% of our ordinary revenue in terms of taxes